In the last episode, we built this absolutely magnificent factory, and today we're gonna fill it with a machine that is going to solve all of our iron problems. Oh, and we're not just solving our iron problem, okay? This wing behind me is going to turn into a metal-working factory that will produce everything you see here, including delicious, delicious uranium. Yummy. Off camera, I also solved our glass pane problem by making a little jetpack refuel station that I think is adorable, and I set up some temporary machines here. Well, not temporary, these are permanent, but hooked up to a temporary power grid. And just a quick look at the ugliness. Ignore the creeper holes and lack of terraforming. I'm sure I will come around to fixing it. It's gonna happen, 100%. But we have our alternator running at max speed, producing 360 FE per tick, and what I love about Mekanism universal cables, right, they move FE, but they actually store it too. You can see up at the top, this is storing 22,000 FE. Now, 22,000 FE is good and all, but it's not even a big enough buffer to fill this thing, and I'd really like a huge buffer, because if I want to run a crusher, enrichment chamber, and metallurgic infuser at the same time, upgraded, it's going to cost a lot. The solution is an energy cube, which can hold 1.6 million RF inside of this amazing bank, and it's not even that hard to upgrade. In fact, I plan to fill this factory with a lot more of these powered machines, so we should probably at least take this into its advanced tier. And after just a little bit of crafting, there we go. 6.4 million FE to add into our network. This is going to last us for a while. So now pretty much we can hook everything up into this, and it will support quite the power grid. Ah, look at it go, too. Such speed. Very good. But Dejojo, why are you doing all this stuff with, like, Mekanism? Aren't we doing a create mod farm? Well, yeah, we actually are, but it's going to require a lot of rose quartz for smart shoots and stuff like that, and in Mekanized, the easiest way to make rose quartz is in the metallurgic infuser. So getting all this infrastructure set up is just going to make this recipe 20,000 times easier, because the other way is like destabilizing redstone, and that's heating a blaze burner, and just blah. In any case, that's enough of the mechanism. It's time for the spinny spin. We're going to need a whole lot more than 4 crushing wheels and a whole lot more than 25 andesite alloy, so this guy's going to have to wait for a second as we solve our andesite problem. And one thing that could help with that is this portable drill, which can be enchanted to break 3x3 blocks at once. It does require a little bit of overhead though. Boom! Mini steam engine. And with this brass drill head, we should be able to just slap this guy together. Pretty cool looking, and it requires that fuel water thing that this brass exoskeleton does. Did I ever show you guys that I made that? I may have cut that out of a video. Well, we're gonna need some coal or charcoal. And hopefully I can actually enchant this thing inside of an enchanting table. Ooh, I need the book. That means we need a villager. And I don't really have that many emeralds. Well, not my favorite thing to do, but we can go find ourselves a villager and try to get this enchantment book. I mean, how long could it possibly take to find one little enchanting book? What the heck are you? A beekeeper? Oh, I'm immediately distracted. Thankfully, this pack has the cycle trades button in it where you can just hotkey their trades, so maybe this won't be so bad. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Boom. Digging enchantment. Okay. You are gonna go home. Man, is there a way to pick up, like, villagers in this pack? I really hope there is. Can I, like, easy villagers? Oh my gosh. Oh, he's so little! Oh, no, this is perfect. I can show you the world. It's a temporary solution for now, but he fits very nicely, and they're perfect. Well, there we go. Digging enchantment. So now this guy mines in a 3x3 area. I just got to fill it up with fuel, and you do that by, I think, holding it in your offhand and then dropping, like, coal, and you'll see the fuel counter goes up. And then if I were to grab some water and drop that, it just empties the bucket and the water counter goes up. But we're going to need a lot more coal or charcoal than that. And that should be filled. Perfect. Look at this thing spin. Look at this thing go. It should make andesite much easier. Here's a nice big andesite vein. And it should, like, oh my gosh. That is so nice. And then combine that with this fluxamagnet to turn on auto attract. And all the items suck into me. Love it. I think 12 crushing wheels should do the trick. because we are absolutely going big on this one. Okay, we are going to have 2 rows of like super crushing terminals. You guys are gonna love it. So the shape of this is starting to come together, and I think it looks so sick. Basically, we're gonna have cobblestone and some stone filtering down from the ceiling, right? This is gonna produce sand, which will flow through here and drop in front of a fan. Okay, these areas here are like fan units that will push the items into the chute. This area is going to produce, this will be cobblestone into gravel into iron. This will be cobblestone into gravel into sand into copper, and this will be stone into uranium and zinc. Now over here we're gonna have another iron line, since iron is so necessary and I just want a ton of it. But in the back we're not actually gonna have it flow into more copper. We're gonna route this around a few belts and stuff and try to haunt it up before it goes down to get gold and quartz, if I can manage to fit that in this space. But you know me, I love my compact machines and I'm up for the challenge. Okay, it's pretty tight, but I figured it out and it's pretty clever. This crushing wheel has to spin in this direction, which means this gearbox on the back end of it is going to spin in this direction, which is exactly the direction we want this belt to go. It's occurring to me, though, that this belt's probably not going to move in the right direction because of that, but maybe I'll be lucky. That's not how this works. But yeah, this belt is going to go in the wrong direction, so I do have to figure something out about that. Ooh, when in doubt, use a depot. Maybe a depot is the solution to our problems here. Indeed, I think it is, because that can just go up 1, and the depot will just have it filter in soul sand, and then the soul sand hops up onto here, and is immediately sucked right into the chute. Boom, problem solved. I guess that should be a smart chute, huh? I guess that doesn't matter as much. And then it just kind of goes like wiggly, wiggly, wiggly all the way down. That is, of course, if everything actually spins in the right direction, which is purely theoretical at the moment. Well, let's put that theory into motion. The fans on the bottom here are going to be powered by an auxiliary like water wheel. We don't want them running at 256, but everything else I want to come from main power storage. So the trick is, how do we do that? I'm thinking maybe something like this, where we have shafts coming out either end like so, and then we can bring down the belt line here like that, and on this side like that. So these guys are now connected. I'm probably gonna have to have some way of inverting these guys, though, because one of these dudes is gonna have to be inverted, right? This also allows us to get gearboxes on these guys, and I'm gonna treat them in the same way. Just assume the worst. And what I want to do is I want these guys to twist. Hold on. It's purely aesthetic, but I want these to be vertical gearboxes. And then in order to hook all of this up, I could actually bring the belts down like this and hook it up underneath of everything. So then what we're looking at here is we could do the same thing we did over there with those crushing wheels and pull the power into the ground with another belt. Boom. And I think that's everything hooked up. Just need the auxiliary fan power, and then I think we're pretty good. If it works. If it works. Ah, no, not the power grid, not the power grid. Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez, don't go into the power grid, please. Come on out, bud. Okay, come here. Oh, you frowny-faced creep. All right, so this should get everything hooked up and running, and then we get to see if we destroy everything. Boop. Hey, we didn't overstress. That's a huge first start. And the moment of truth. Okay, so the bottom crushing wheels are spinning in the right direction. The top crushing wheels are spinning in the wrong direction, I think. What if I just reverse the overall input? Would that give me the kind of oomph I need to fix this? Okay, because then the big ones are going and the little ones are wrong, but I can remove... That's not right. I can invert the little ones very easily? Yes. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the trick was reverse the overall speed and then reverse the little input ones. Perfect! Look at it go! And then the belt's still moving in the right direction, right? Yeah, look at that. Oh, amazing. And I have an idea for what to do with this middle space here, too. But you just gotta admire it when a project goes right. Alrighty, fans are set up with their own auxiliary power. Even this guy's a-blowing, and everything is looking great. We're gonna add some, like, iron bars here. I think it would look really cool for the washing areas. But we need to address what we are going to do about cobblestone. I am just going to open this area up temporarily so we kind of have a working zone because, unsurprisingly, it's igneous extruders. I love igneous extruders. And we are going to use 5 of them. 4 is going to actually make cobblestone, and then 1 guy we're going to make special for stone. And igneous extruders needs a thing called Constantin. Constantin, is that how you say it? I am dyslexic and I get made fun of for how I pronounce this, so tell me if I'm getting it right. And Constantin, I think, is just nickel and copper. Boom, 32, and that is more than enough. But otherwise, these guys are honestly really cheap. So igneous extruders work by having water and lava on either side of them, but you can see we need a magma block in order to make stone, and super cool trick in this pack, you can actually just superheat slime balls, and it just automatically turns them into magma cream. That is going to be a fun obsidian farm. But for now, I'm going to get all this stuff set up, and as always, we want these guys pulling 64 at a time. This fella's going to have a chest on top of him, since these igneous extruders don't need a magma block under him, but this guy over here, this igneous extruder is a little special. And all these fellas we want to have on low redstone control, meaning that if they receive a redstone signal, they'll stop. I'm planning on having like a bulk storage system or like an overflow storage, and so if that fills up, we would shut these guys off to turn the machine off. So I have all these guys hooked up to redstone links with iron on the red, and they're listening, so all we have to do is send the iron 1 nothing 2 signal, and it'll shut all of these off from working. Of course, they're not doing anything right now, but they will be soon. Alright, and with that, the second I turn this redstone signal off, everything's going to start coming to life, and I just realized I forgot to make augments for them. Oh, shoot. You want to make these augment things. What are they called? Augments? Yeah. Augmented components or whatever. They're not so bad, but the highest tier requires Endurium, which is, a bit of a thing. You need ender pearls. And superheating. But maybe I can get away with just Electrum, which is like significantly easier to make. Well, I've got all the components in up top, and I am completely out of iron. So I think we're gonna give this machine a little test. You can see I've primed it, it's ready. I don't even have enough iron to make vaults, so we're just using regular chests here. I hopefully have everything filtered, and if I flick this lever, we should wait just a few seconds and then see cobblestone flowing through. Oh, there we go. Okay, immediately sand has hit the bottom and it is instantly washing. I think some clay and flint went through. Awesome, we'll be getting that. But what about gravel? Okay, gravel, and then this side, good, and then please soul sand. Please drop some soul sand here. Perfect. Look at that. It's working. I built a machine and it worked first try. And look at the goodies. Already 22 zinc, 16 copper nuggets, and 14 iron nuggets. And that's just on this side. Over here, we got 21 iron nuggets, our first batch of quartz and gold. Oh, it's so exciting. And it kind of looks cool, too. I might do a little bit more up here to add some decoration. I'm not 100% sure. We're actually going to need a pretty decent amount of iron to make the kind of vaults that I want, so I'm just going to let this thing run. The only issue with it is all the items are like right on the ground, so we actually can't get too close to it while it's running. Speaking of, I should probably actually make an on-off switch somewhere. I don't think OSHA would like people tripping over our on and off lever, huh? And there we go, a little emergency shut-off switch with a lamp, and you can even see the redstone thing over it, and that means hopefully if I remove that, the machine continues to stay off. Yeah, it seems like it. Boop! Oh, that's fun, actually. That feels good. That feels right. Now that is more like it for storage. 63 item vaults. And I'm going to hook up this threshold switch to it because I want to use display boards in order to display this, like, backup storage. And I think I want the display boards to go, like, here. No, maybe one forward. Now that looks pretty awesome, and it covers up some of the ugliness, too. Delicious, delightful. And then all we have to do is hook this display link up to that, and we're going to drop it on top of the threshold switch like so, and now it will give the container fill level. We're actually going to write this to line 2, and then the and then I need a clipboard, right? Hopefully clipboards work on this. Boom. Ooh. Okay, we'll just call it auxiliary then. We'll just say auxiliary. That's going to be our auxiliary storage. There we go. Auxiliary 0%. Actually, that looks pretty sharp. So I could just knock this out there. Oh, it breaks it? There we go. That is looking sharp. Now, of course, I'm not going to keep all the nuggets just tucked away inside of this giant item vault. We're going to process them, but this is in case things start to fill up. And with the rate that we're producing, like flint and quartz, it will fill up. That being said, I was checking around the quest book and learned an amazing thing that you can crush quartz into nuggets of XP. So we finally have a proper XP farm going here, and we can use the quartz kind of as an additional experience farm on top of being a quartz farm. So now I just gotta throw a bunch of presses down there to compact all the different nuggets into all the different ingots. I wish we had compacting drawers. Hopefully brass funnels like this won't break things, like it won't just drop items onto the ground. It'll wait until there's room in here. That's what I'm really hoping. And there we go. Probably. Might as well get these guys hooked up right away so we're not dillying or dallying, and of course that gearbox provides an excellent source of power. And now we have to talk about, so this is auxiliary power, so what's main power? Well, not power, that's storage. Auxiliary storage. Well, I want these bin things for main storage, and I want to see if we can go all the way to ultimate bins, which is not going to be cheap. That's diamonds. Even more annoying, that's obsidian. Actually, it's obsidian infused with diamonds, so it's even worse. In any case, the actual issue is this. Now, all these things we have, but an HDPE sheet is a bit of a process. Our current machines just don't cut it. We're gonna need some crazy chemical processes. We're gonna need oxygen, and ethylene, and substrate, and hydrogen. Well, water's pretty easy. That's actually not bad. Biomass we can make as well. Luckily, hydrogen and oxygen are really easy because they come out of this one machine called the electrolytic separator, and it's just water into hydrogen and oxygen, because that just be what water's all about. But instead of boring you guys with a long, lengthy machine line process, I'm gonna try to set this up with a few updates in the way. And boy, do we need some more iron, so let's put our auxiliary storage to the test. And this farm up here is actually going to get a small use because we need seed oil, and I'm pretty sure we've got plenty of seeds inside of this machine. So, yeah, no, it's seeing a little bit of love again after all this time. For this, we need the special Ad Astra steel, and the most efficient way to craft that is actually with superheating. So we're going to need to get a proper blaze cake making area, and that needs a spout. Ta-da! Spoutification station. And you know what? While we have the superheating up, we should make some of this reinforced alloy, which is infused alloy and rich diamonds over superheated, so that'll be really useful. I'm gonna try to future-proof here, so let's say goodbye to 16 diamonds. Ouch. So finally, I've got all the machines we need. These are crazy weird things to craft. But before I start putting stuff down, I'm going to use some signs. And that's because this processing line can get really complicated, okay? We're going to be moving gases around. We're going to be making it in certain areas, using it in certain areas, okay? And in Mekanism, you're going to confuse the heck out of yourself if you're just placing things down randomly, splandomly. So use some signs, put it down, visualize the machine, and then place it. So here's my little notes. I'm just mapping what I need. I know both of these things need to take in water, so it might be fun to have one pump coming out and connecting to the both of them from underneath of them. And this just helps me visualize where I want things to go before I start hooking things up. Because remember, you can actually use machines to spit into other machines. It's very useful. Although oftentimes your little diagrams won't work out because I need to change things actually. If you guys want me to go over how this works, let me know, but I'm going to skip a lot of this item config stuff because it looks pretty confusing. This should be the last touch. Boom! The network is complete. I've also gone and like totally upgraded our power system, so new cables, and you can hear something piercingly screeching above me, so that means something's going right. Perfect, it's working. The water is going in and it's splitting into hydrogen and oxygen, and the hydrogen is immediately pushing into here, and the water's filling up this one. Absolutely beautiful. Now, something we can do as well is set this to dump excess, so that just means that if it fills up, it won't just stop. The oxygen we need in this final pressurized reaction chamber here, and we can actually pull it out with these pressurized tubes, go figure. Mekanism has different kind of cables and tubes for each of the machines, so universal, they move power, logistical moves items, pressurized moves gases, and I think like fluid or sealed, something like that, moves, well, liquids. But I like the fluid pipes from Create Mod too. And this should actually be everything. Like, literally everything, everything, everything. It's also kind of, in a way, the entirety of Chapter 3, which is pretty sick. But I should put my money where my mouth is and actually test these machines instead of stalling, because I'm afraid of looking like an idiot. Right now, we're manually fueling it. We may as well test it with the 8 biomass we started with. There we go. The process begins. This is going to turn into a substrate, which should be moved into this machine, and it's not, so I have to check that. But the ethylene is being turned from gaseous ethylene into liquid ethylene and filling up the pressurized reaction chamber alongside oxygen, which is exactly what we need. I think this guy may have an output wrong. Or, even better, this guy has the input wrong. Yeah, there we go. The substrate goes in and actually creates HDPE pellets. Let's go! First try, and look at the size of her. Tiny little machine. You love to see it. Now, the final touch of this is taking at least 3 of these HDPE pellets and putting it in an enrichment chamber to get yourself the HDPE sheet, which is what we are here for. This is the basis of circuit boards. We finally get to go back to nice, simple create pressing lines. We are going to need a ton of these sheets to do what we want to do, so I'm just going to sit here crafting sheets for a while. And by a ton, I actually mean 16, but we made 30 just to future-proof things. I want to make 8 ultimate bins, and they require 2 circuit boards each. 1 circuit board goes for the elite, and then 1 more circuit board for the ultimate. And these guys are going to take those reinforced alloy stuffs that I was using before, and so I've just got a whole lot of crafting ahead of me. Starting off with doing this manually because I'm stubborn. On second hand, though, I've already made 16 precision mechanisms manually today, so maybe I will make an assembly line. No way, no way. I just overstressed our system. I didn't think it was possible. Wow, by how much? I can't believe we're already there. Oh, that's no good. Oh, by 5,000 too. Oh my gosh, that's everything. We were like right on the edge of it. Looks like we're going for a good old auxiliary water wheel engine. Now that is more like it. Now I've already loaded everything with what we need to make the circuit board, so I should be able to just toss 16 HDPE sheets, and oh my gosh, look at that speed! Yeah, that's awesome! Boom. Basic control circuits, and I'm pretty sure we just completed like a whole major chapter, and we even get a little globe. Cute. I love that. But even more importantly, we can start making these things into better versions of them. And now, of course, the moment of truth. 8 basic bins, 8 advanced bins, 8 elite bins, and finally at the top of it, the ultimate storage solution. 8 ultimate bins. Yes, these guys store so many items. They're like drawers, but actually kind of worse because we can't upgrade these anymore, and they don't connect to drawer controllers. And yeah, I don't like them very much, but they're the only option we have. And with the magical snap of my fingers, they're going to be ta-da. Oh wait, yep, okay, I ended up putting them over here. And it's occurring to me that maybe I didn't need ultimate bins, but also look how sick it is to have all this storage. I haven't used the last bin because there's not a lot of uranium nuggets, and, well, the auxiliary storage is probably never going to fill up with how many items this can hold, so I'm probably going to repurpose those vaults maybe for simple storage. Best case scenario would to actually have these be integrated with simple storage, but until we get some ender pearls, that's not going to happen. And truthfully, I just don't feel like ender pearls today. But looking at this wall of absolute items, I'm pretty sure our resource issues are long gone. That's a lot of clay really quickly. I think our windmill has been made obsolete again.